As you can see, I'm still at the track. Qualifiers and schoolers got done a little bit later. I didn't have time to go back home, so here I am like an idiot, I guess, sitting. Well, I'm warm anyway. It's cold today. Not frigid cold, but it's getting up around 0, so 32 for our southern friends. It's just the dampness, right? My feet are cold right now, and the track was good today. We had some really, really good schoolers. We had a couple that were so-so. One filly I'll give a pass. So trotters, for those out there that know much about trotters, especially trotters, you try not to chop all their toes off right before you qualify them or school them. And in the case of Rose Run Versatile, apparently the blacksmith was in Tuesday, shot her a little bit tight, maybe took a little too much toe off her, and I went with another horse we'll get to in a minute in there. But at the same time, the driver, I watched her going up the gate, she paced. And she'd do that once in a while last year, but usually if you left her alone, she'd swing into the trot. So it wasn't that she paced up to the gate. The issue was afterwards. They said she just wasn't comfortable. Now, we don't have the hobbles on her, but Jason said he trained her in a deep track last week in 2-4, come a half and 1-1 here without hobbles on. Wouldn't assume she'd need them. I'll be honest, I personally haven't sat behind her since we stopped racing her. I've seen her go a number of times. I thought she looked good. So I think it might be in our best interest maybe Tuesday to zip her over here, not go a big mile, but maybe bust her out a real good quarter, just to make sure that she's safe without the hobbles on, and 2, that she's comfortable again. In the meantime, I think reducing, we'll put some reducing on her feet, see if we can get them hardened up a little more comfortable, and maybe add a set of bell boots for next Thursday if in fact the feet were the problem. She doesn't wear a heavy trotting shoe anyway. She only wears a light shoe, so it's very easy for her to pace with those on. She hasn't before, so I think looking at the entire situation, 1 + 1 = 2. It wasn't that she paced up to the gate, it's that she was trotting not great afterwards. He said he went a mile in 2:5 with her, so she went a good mile anyway, but he said she wasn't comfortable. Jason said she was very, very good every time he's gone with her in the last little while, so I suspect it was just maybe that shoeing on Tuesday that kind of bit her a little bit. Also, I want to talk about, we had a great training day on Wednesday. The track was pretty good. It was cold in the morning. Some horses really surprised me a lot how well they were. A couple of first-time horses I've gone with in quite a while I thought were fantastic. A horse that was great again this week, really starting to come on. For those of you that have been with us a long time, we had some horses where they run along the same lines, right? You'll hear the same stuff. You know, I need to see more strength. I want to see them build up their muscle, and I think they'll trot better after that. Some don't, and some do. It's not that that's a line, like that's a salesman's pitch. That is the truth. And some of them just don't come forward the way that we need them to. Without going into details and names, you guys know, I'm sure if you've been here long enough, there are some horses that haven't come along, but there are some that have. And this horse in particular reminds me of everyone that has so far. Trained great this week. So we'll get right into it. First and foremost, the drone will be here on Saturday. Curtis is in Montreal. If you remember back a few weeks ago, we had another gentleman do the drone. We had to do the drone before we went away, and he did it. Different kind of perspective. He's up a little higher looking at the horses. I thought it was fine. His name's Cam. He's coming to do the drones. He works with Curtis. He's coming to do the drone sets on Saturday. Now, they won't be live. They won't be on Facebook. But last time he had them up really quick, and I think they'll have them up in the afternoon. Most importantly, I want to get you a look at the horses. So we'll get right into it. First and foremost, we'll talk about what we're here for, which is the qualifiers and schoolers. For those of you paying close attention, Heavenly Skies qualified today. Didn't look that great. Little out of gear the whole way. Didn't really have a whole lot to offer. Now, she's a big mare. Big filly. I don't really know what Blair wants to do with her. I think I don't know how fast he went. It couldn't have been much more than 2.6 or 2.7. I think maybe take her to Flamborough and race her if he's able. And see how she is. You know, Blair's from the older school also, where he's going to try and race her into shape a little bit. And I've driven horses for Blair over the years that do just that. So let's revisit this after 2 or 3 starts. But today was not super impressive for Heavenly Skies. She's pretty filly, but as far as what she's going to do on the track, I wouldn't say she was super impressive today. Now we had schoolers. We didn't have any other qualifiers, but we had 6 schoolers here today. Some were very, very impressive. Some were pretty good. And one filly we talked about at the start, Rose Run Versatile, had made a break and still won a mile in 2.5. Let's start with the first schooler. We had 2 in each schooler. There was only 3 schoolers. I went with Bottle of Red, and Phil Houdon went with Zeb Sunshine. Bottle of Red was nothing short of tremendous. She went a mile in 58 and 3 last half and 56 and a piece. I'd say closer to 4 than 1. So 56 and 3, 56 and 4. But it was a cold, little bit windy. It was a cold day. She was extremely good. Really impressed again this week with Bottle of Red. Zeb Sunshine went a mile in 2:1. Phil said he was good. He was running in a little bit. Not a big deal. I know that, and there's another horse that we just had new shoes on Tuesday. It always plays a role. It's kind of like when you cut your nails, right? Sometimes you cut them a little close and they hurt. Not quite as effective. And when it comes to horses, they're very much the same. You got a nail. So horses have what's called the white line. So that's kind of the quick of your fingernail. And if you take all the hoof off, you don't have a whole lot to pound the nails into when you're nailing on the shoes. So you got to be careful. Sometimes you take too much toe off. Those nails are a little close to the white line, causes some discomfort. You can see some real differences. Now, I explained how bad Anthony Hahn had went with Rose Run Versatile, a good friend of ours, and he said she wasn't trotting good. I watched her swing to the pace going to the gate, and I'm like, shit, I didn't tell him that. She did that last year a couple of times. You just kind of give her a little shake, she'll come right up on the trot. But she swung to the pace, and then afterwards he said she went a mile, but she wasn't comfortable. And hearing what Jason had said about her over the last month, how tremendous she was, how good she was training, I was a little surprised. And then obviously it didn't take long for us to get to the root of the problem, which was likely the shoeing. So we'll give her a pass. We'll just put her into qualify. If I come over here Tuesday and she's not perfect, we'll just put the hoops back on her and qualify her with the hobbles on. Not really a big deal in that regard. So Zeb Sunshine was pretty good. Might need one more schooler. Bottle of Red's ready to qualify a horse that I know at least a good friend of ours is really looking to see how Miss Mischief Maker was today. It was funny because Kevin and I were talking going out of there, going out onto the track, and he said she doesn't leave that good because you can't put her right up on the screen. Well, she was acting up a little bit going behind the gate, and I just let her float into position, and then I let her snap right out of there. I put her on the front, 30 in a piece, 102 in a piece, and the Sylvain Filion came and covered me up, 131 and a bit. We went a mile in 2:1 and 1, and she was closing third, probably beat, her mile was in 2:1 and 1. I was beat a half a length for second by Sylvain, and then half a length for second, finished third. The winner was a pacer. So very, very impressed with what I saw from Miss Mischief Maker. I believe she's going to qualify next week. Rose Run Versatile will qualify her, but wasn't super great today. Was okay. The last schooler saw Watch Avenue go. Now James said he was a little duller this week. Now, not surprising. You know, first time you put them on the gate, you know, they want to show off, they want to show themselves off, and sometimes they stretch themselves out. And James did a great job keeping him contained last week. Track was a little deep and snowy today. He still wears flip-flops. James said he was good. 1 mile 59, 2 minutes, and looked good doing it. Horse that made a break leaving, Emerald Miss. She's going to need another week, and I know everybody's like, well, you said she'd qualify. Yeah, she should be ready to qualify. She went her last 3 quarters after making a break in 1:30, but she wasn't comfortable. So we just have to work on Emerald Miss. She's there, but she's not there yet. And there's no point qualifying her just to say, oh, she's qualified. So she is ready to qualify speed-wise. There is something biting her. Now, we did have her up to the vet. There wasn't any glaring issues with her. Now, Kevin did notice in her blood work we did take last week, what's called her differential was flipped. And sometimes when the differential in their blood flips, it's an indicator they're sick. She didn't come off her feed. She didn't present with a temperature or any mucus. So we went with her today. She may not be 100% that way, but she's close enough where today's break was a little odd. She has got over on a line before, got out of gear before. Kevin believes just pulling her hobbles in a little bit will help. I think she's going to need another week of schoolers. That's just how it is. So Emerald Miss, another week of schoolers. Next week you're going to see Bottle of Red qualify, Miss Mischief Maker qualify, Rose Run Versatile qualify, likely Watch Avenue qualify. Zeb Sunshine, I'm not sure. He may qualify or may need another week, but Emerald Miss definitely does. So that's the qualifiers, Heavenly Skies, and the 6 schoolers that went today. Now, the babies went yesterday, and I'm not going to make a top 10 list every time they train. I mean, that would be foolish, but I am going to talk about some horses that were impressive that I saw. Now, a couple of them I didn't see. What we do on Wednesdays, for those of you who have attended or don't attend, we'll go out on the track from, say, Shed Row 2, James's Shed Row. 3 of us will go out on the track. Mario's horses will be slowly behind us, and then Danny's, whoever's ready to turn will turn and go in sets. That might be a set of 8, that might be a set of 4, but we get them all trained around the same speed. On drone days, we try to go 1.5 miles between 235 and 240 speed. For those of you who need to know the speed so desperately bad, we've gone between 235 and 240 with almost every horse in the barn. That's at 1.5 miles distance. The last mile is around 235 to 240. First half is much slower. Just a quick warm-up, more or less, at this point in time. So we went miles. We went in various set sizes, anywhere from 4 to 8 on Wednesday. Let's just go by alphabetical order because that's how I sorted them. I was very impressed. Eternity Road was good again. Eternity Road got beat, though, only because James put him in a spot where he just couldn't possibly trot fast enough to catch the horse that won it. And I'll talk about her, who's a filly, in a minute. Can't Deny My Spirit was very, very good. We've made some equipment adjustments with Can't Deny My Spirit, put an open bridle on him, took the boots off him behind, switched to bandages, made a little shoeing change. Can't Deny My Spirit, James said, was tremendously good on Wednesday. Now, the horse that beat Eternity Road, I came first over with her. Another horse we made a little shoeing change and some significant equipment changes on was Frilly Fringes. Frilly Fringes came first over, open bridle on her also. Around the last turn, she started to hang a bit, put a head pole on her also. She started to get in on the head pole. I give her a swat on the left side, and she come right out of her harness. She's honest. I don't know if there's a more sure-footed horse on the property for a baby. Maybe James's horse, Eternity Road, but he's made breaks. I don't know that Frilly Fringes has made many, but she was very, very good in her training trip on Wednesday. A huge improvement. Mentally, we put the open on her because you'll notice, and I've talked about this, when horses go by her, she gets startled and spooked, so we took all of it off her. Let her see them coming. And we did put an open bridle on her. She was much, much better on Wednesday. Horse set, we got all the gear on right now. Mario and I got them all squared around great. I'm Hill on wheels. He won his training set and was very, very good. Now, Philly, I trained by herself afterwards in 242, and she was very good. Jazzy Judy, I've had enough of her making breaks and goofing off. I told you guys what was going to happen. Put the hobbles on her, took all the gear off her, lightened her shoes up, took the toe weights off her. She was all business. Mile and 242 all by herself and looked good. This is a filly that we don't have to have ready till September. So everybody keeps saying, I thought we were turning her out, but what are we going to turn her out in? Mud? Ice? Snow? I mean, it's not a great time of year to be turning her out. You know, if it was just cold and we had snow, yeah, let her go out and play in the snow. But it's like +2, -2, mucky, filthy, rotten weather. Just not time to turn her out yet, but we'll get to it. Jazzy Judy was very good. A horse also that was very, very good, Let's Roll On, continues to be better and better every week. Charging on the end of the mile this week. Very impressed with Let's Roll On. Keystone Raven was very good. Miss Meringue was very good again. I just got by her with a horse that's way down on the list. Finally got her right. Northern Blizzard, Danny said, was really, really good. Impressed. A lot of people have noticed and asked, hey, what's going on with Royal Tyrone? Royal Tyrone is sold. And I'll tell you what happened. It doesn't happen very often, but we only had 3 shares of Royal Tyrone sold just because people hadn't got around to it. I mean, the horse looked great his last 2 training trips. The sale was contingent. I couldn't really ask for more than he was offered for on our site, which at the time was $24,000. So I think he was kind of undervalued, but I'm kind of handcuffed, right? So the people that wanted to buy were clients of ours in the past, had horses with us also, but now have some horses with Robert Shepard, Rod Boyd, nice people, great trainers. They wanted the horse vetted out. So we vetted him out. He had an OCD in his right front ankle. So we agreed upon a little bit less price because of the operation that will be needed on the horse. You know what? Walk of the Moon's a very nice horse, and so is Northern Blizzard. I thought we had a few more Ontario side trotting colts, but we don't. But having said that, they could easily go in and buy 97%, and I guess they couldn't force anything, but at the same time, I want to be amenable to everybody. It's not very often that a situation like this comes up, but here it is staring us in the face. So Royal Tyrone, for all intents and purposes, will be sold, and will be moving barns, I assume, to the Robert Shepard barn. Not a big deal. The horse is a nice colt. His knees were wide open also. Just growthy stuff. So we chose to turn the page. That's how it is sometimes. So Northern Blizzard, the reason I talked about Royal Tyrone is because Northern Blizzard is also an Ontario-sired 2-year-old trotting colt that trained very, very good on Wednesday. Off-Road Hanover continues to look better and better and better and improve. He looked great. Perfect record. Looked very, very good. Rito Sunshine continues to get better and better and better. Just want to see that colt stay healthy. Looks like he is. I'm very impressed with him. Filly I went with again and won her set again. Rose Run Why Not? Actually, no. I finished with another filly right beside her, but did not beat her. Talk about her in a minute. But they were right together. I came from fourth. The other filly was first over. She did most of the work. But I was, let's say, sprinting hard on the end of the mile. So Rose Run Why Not? For those of you out there that have the shares and waited, thank you. And you're very smart in doing so. This filly showed a lot of talent and a lot of size and has put it all together. She is an impressive looking filly. Roy Hill looked good again. Danny went with him. Set the mood. I said to Mario, he's not the soundest horse, a little peggy, a little out of gear at times, but he's got the right frame of mind. He was a doubling up winner again in his set on Wednesday. A horse that everybody's been waiting for quietly, especially the people that own him, Cirrus Blue Chip. I went with Cirrus Blue Chip for the first time ever, won the set, popped out of the 2-hole, flew by the horse on the front and opened up by about 3 or 4 lengths going under the wire. I gave him every opportunity to make a break, and he didn't. Now, I will say this about Soros. He wears flip-flops up front. His knees look like they bother him. You know who he reminds me of? A miniature Arctic Force. That's who he reminds me of. Both by American Ideal. Both have that same kind of big, powerful gait. Kind of floundery gait, but they really pick up speed quickly. And Cirrus Blue Chip was very good. Will I say he's perfect right now? No. He's on the left line a little bit in the straightaways, right line in the turns. After going through this with Arctic Force, I'm pretty sure I know what's going on. His knees probably bother him a little bit. I would say if we look closely at him, his knees are probably wide open. So it's just a matter of blistering them, painting them, pushing when you can, not pushing when you can't. We'll see how he looks on Saturday, but I was really impressed with Cirrus Blue Chip on Wednesday. So Admirable looked good again. Stacy Hanover, this is the filly I get mixed up. James went with Stacy Hanover because I wanted to go with Rose Run Why Not? Both these fillies were flying at the wire. I didn't quite get to Stacy, and then after the wire we were really trotting. Both fillies looked very, very good. Surreal Love continues to look good. Tipsy and Dixie really found her feet. She's really she's really square now in her gait and comfortable on the track. Really impressed with Tipsy and Dixie. Walk on the Moon was very, very good again. War We Was Up was good. Danny said, I don't know if he can go with the best ones, but he's really getting good. And he is starting to really look good, this colt. War We Welcome continues her march forward. She looks fantastic. And a filly that I've waited and waited and waited and waited and waited for and taken my time. She's made breaks, and I stuck up for her. Won My Heart Hanover. Last 2 times she trained, she won both training sets and was comfortable. Again, made a few little equipment adjustments with her. Moved her from boots to bandages. She hasn't touched at all, which is fantastic. Took some bell boots off her because they were rubbing her and she had a heel scratch. Just really impressed with Won My Heart Hanover and how she's handled herself over the last 2 weeks. Still a bit of a renegade getting out of the barn, but on the track she is 2 fingers in all business. She's got it all put together. So that's 18 minutes of Wednesday and Thursday, your midweek update, if you will. And no, I'm not going to daily updates, but I think when we qualify horses on Thursday and we train so many babies on Wednesday, people like to hear this. I know I do. I mean, I like telling you about how the horses went. If you didn't hear your horse on the 2-year-old update, could be for a number of reasons. Maybe the horse was behind me, I didn't see the horse, or the horse just continues to do. A horse like Well and Down is not on there. She continues to do her work very, very well. Sat behind me the whole way in the last set of the day. I remember that. I didn't get a chance to see her, but she finished up right with me, just doing her work well. A lot of these horses that I mentioned, I got a real good look at, and some of them were just tremendously good. Some of them were what we waited for, right? Won My Heart Hanover. I'm excited every time I go on the track with her, and it's not like the stake payments you'll see are coming out tonight. You guys are going to get a look at them. I have Won My Heart paid into the Breeders' Crown, but I think I'm going to take her out. I'm just going to go easy with her. We have Pennsylvania. We have a couple other little stake races with her, and I want to see her become a nice horse. To think that a filly her size, she would have to be a freak, which she could be. I don't know that I like Pennsylvania takes a lot out of them, right? You look at Ron Burke's good filly, ended up on Lasix at the end of the year last year. A Sister Sledge, and now she did well in the Breeders' Crown, so I guess it's bad example. I want to see her turn into a really good horse, And, you know, I have to remember that Lawmaker and White Tiger didn't race in the Breeders' Crown at 2. So I'm kind of leaning towards taking her out now. Nevertheless, there's lots of racing for her. We still have the Peaceful Way and a number of other races here and in Pennsylvania for her. Eternity Road continues to be the king of the hill, even though he got beat by Fairly Fringes, flying on the end of the mile. Just pretty much perfect right now is how Eternity Road is. I'm Hill on Wheels. You guys have watched his struggles without hobbles, with hobbles, in the turns. He's really putting it together now. Mario did a great job with him on Wednesday. Jazzy Judy, I told you I'd had enough of this breaking and fooling around. We really weren't in a rush with her because she's got all the time in the world, way more time than anybody else. But at the same time, I want to see her doing it right. So I went with her myself on Wednesday. She was good. Let's Roll On. This is the horse I was telling you about. Needed to get stronger, is getting stronger. That type of avenue of dialogue, I guess, that I talk about sometimes. This guy's getting it right now. You know, Rose Run Why Not has hit her brakes in time, but looked absolutely fantastic the last 3 or 4 times. She's gone Cirrus Blue Chip. There's a horse that has not been on the radar, was castrated, hit some real issues that we were trying to deal with. Looked great the other day. Stacey Hanover continues to improve and look good. Walk on the Moon. Nobody gets to talk about him because we dump him in with Eternity Road and those horses, and he ends up first over every week somehow. But he continues to get good. And then War We Welcome and Won My Heart Hanover. A number of horses I wanted to update people on. Doesn't mean your horse didn't go good if you did not hear your horse's name here. Could have went just fine. Might have been behind me. Might not have seen the horse go. These are the horses I paid close attention to on Wednesday. So that's it. I'm going to go out and drive. Tonight we have... I'll Play It Alone. Going to look for a flat line. Hopefully head to the winner's circle with him. Be good. He's in with Excellent Nation, though. That might be tough. Brush Cut, looking to get the job done tonight. And then we have our Vicka in race 3. I'm going to go I got my suit on. I'm going to maybe get a little bite to eat and then head out and do some driving. Take care. I hope you guys are having a good week. Now, I know that Wendy is sending the bills out tonight. If you're watching this, please make a concerted effort to get those checks in the mail or the funds into us as soon as you can. We have a rather large staking payment to make February 15th. Start of staking season, the one time of the year I'm really stressed. February, March, and April. A little bit in May also, but it's here now. So, February the 10th. Is it the 10th? No, it's not the 10th. What the hell am I talking about? February the whatever. It is the 10th. I gotta get this right. Qualifier post time. February 6th. That's more like it. February 6th. That's where we stand. So I hope you guys are having a great week. We'll talk to you soon. Take care. Bye.